Section 19. Putting federal law into everyday practice. As Sarah and David finished discussing fair housing, David closed his law book and smiled. You've learned about 3 of the most important federal laws affecting realtors. Sarah nodded. The Sherman Antitrust Act, RESPA, and fair housing. That's right, David said. But here's the important question. What do they all have in common? Sarah thought for a moment. They all protect consumers. David smiled. Exactly. He explained that many licensees think of these laws as completely separate subjects. In reality, they work together every day during a real estate transaction. The Sherman Antitrust Act protects consumers by promoting fair competition. RESPA protects consumers by ensuring referrals for lenders, title companies, and other settlement service providers are based on the consumer's best interests, not financial incentives. The Federal Fair Housing Act protects consumers by ensuring everyone has an equal opportunity to purchase, rent, or finance housing without unlawful discrimination. Different laws, David said. One common purpose: protect the public. Imagine you're hosting an open house in Gilbert. A buyer asks if you know a good lender. Another buyer asks whether this is a neighborhood for young families. A competing realtor jokes that everyone should start charging the same commission because it would make life easier. Before the afternoon is over, the seller asks you to advertise the home as completely remodeled, even though only the kitchen has been updated. What would you do? David laughed. Believe it or not, every one of those situations involves a different federal law. He explained that recommending a lender based on experience is perfectly acceptable, but accepting anything of value for that recommendation could violate Section 8 of RESPA. Describing neighborhoods based on the people who live there, rather than objective property information, may create fair housing concerns. Discussing commission rates or agreeing on pricing with competing brokerages can create Sherman Antitrust Act issues. Advertising a property inaccurately may violate Article 12 of the Realtor Code of Ethics, AAC R428502, and potentially mislead consumers. The interesting part, David continued, is that none of these situations begin with someone trying to break the law. They begin with ordinary conversations. Experienced Arizona brokers understand that compliance isn't about memorizing hundreds of statutes. It's about slowing down before making decisions. When questions arise, successful realtors ask themselves a few simple questions. Is this truthful? Is this fair to everyone involved? Does this protect my client while also protecting the public? Would I be comfortable explaining this decision to my broker or an ADRE investigator? Those questions help prevent many of the mistakes that eventually become complaints. David shared a story from earlier in his career. A newer agent once accepted tickets to a professional sporting event from a mortgage company after referring several buyers. The agent believed it was simply a thank you gift. After discussing the situation with the broker, the tickets were politely declined because they could create the appearance of a referral fee prohibited under RESPA. One conversation prevented a much larger problem, David explained. Sarah smiled. I'm noticing another pattern. David laughed. I was wondering when you'd say that. The brokers who ask questions before acting rarely become the brokers explaining their decisions during an investigation. Professional realtors understand that compliance isn't about fear. It's about earning trust. Consumers don't expect realtors to know every answer immediately. They do expect realtors to act honestly, seek guidance when needed, and always place the consumer's interests ahead of personal gain. Those habits not only protect the public, they build successful careers. As we move into the next chapter, you'll see how these same professional habits help licensees avoid complaints, work effectively with their broker, and reduce the risk of disciplinary action by the Arizona Department of Real Estate. Online discussion 1. What common goal do the Sherman Antitrust Act, RESPA, and the Fair Housing Act share? Answer. Although each law addresses different aspects of the real estate industry, they all exist to protect consumers. They promote fair competition, transparency, equal housing opportunities, and ethical business practices, while helping maintain public confidence in the real estate profession. 2. Imagine you are faced with several legal and ethical questions during the same transaction. How should you approach those decisions? I would slow down, verify the facts, review the applicable laws and brokerage policies, and consult my employing broker whenever necessary. Taking time to make informed decisions helps protect my clients, comply with the law, and reduce the risk of complaints. 3. Why is asking your broker for guidance considered a strength rather than a weakness? Answer. Experienced brokers provide valuable guidance based on Arizona law, industry experience, and risk management. Seeking advice before making an important decision often prevents mistakes, protects consumers, and demonstrates professionalism rather than inexperience.